Welcome back to week 11. This is just a continuation of assignment 11, and I wanted to put this in a separate video just to let you have a little break. That last video was pretty lengthy, but what we're going to show you is how to put this thing on paper and how to make a parts list and material list and all that good stuff. And it deserves its own space because this is the most important. It's very important to draw the part up, but if you can't document it accurately, then it doesn't do you any good to have an accurate drawn 3D part if you can't put correct annotations and all that on there. So let's do that real quick. So here is where we left off. This is our little assembly that we did. Now I want to put this on a sheet. Now, first thing I want to do, we're in IAM, which is Inventor Assembly. I want to go to IDW, which is Inventor Drawing. So I'll come up here and just go to my new box. It's in English because we use standard units of measurement. So I want to slide down here to ANSI, inch, IDW, double click it. And it automatically brings up in a default a C size paper. And the reason I know it's C because I can actually see right there, size C. And if I wanted to get more technical, I could just right click on sheet 1, edit sheet, and it's C size. Now in our drawing they're wanting a B size, so I want to change this to B size paper and hit OK. So now we've got it to the right size, and I want to bring this thing in. But first, I want to show you how to set up a drawing whenever you've got the complete assembly. And we're going to start. And first thing you're going to do is come up here and hit Base. Now, you can see I'm dragging this in, but how am I dragging it in? Because it's right here, it's already loaded up. But go in here and find where you've got that located. Right here, week 11 videos. That's where I made that at. I thought I had it saved in here. I must not have. Let's see what I had that named as. Assembly 1. Alright. What I want to do is go back to Assembly 1 and save it. Because I didn't have it saved. It's always good to make sure that you save your parts and save them often. If there's a little bit of a flicker, and I want to rename this one, and the name of this thing was, let me go back here and take a look so I'll have everything accurate. But what I was saying about saving things, when you're drawing, you've probably already found this out. If there's like something crazy going on with your computer, electricity flickers or anything like that, as soon as it does, it's gone if you didn't save it. And the beauty of it is if you save it one time, most of the time when you open your computer back up, there's a recovery and it lets you take off from the last point. But don't depend on that. I always like to every little bit is hit save. It doesn't cost you a thing to do that, and it saves you so much time in the long run, as opposed to losing a lot of work. This is a shaft support assembly. Okay, so hit save, and this is my IEM down here at the bottom. You can flip between them. This is my IDW, it's my drawing. Now I want to bring that in, so I hit base again, and right there you can see how it's got a link to it, and you see how I'm bringing that in. Well, my first page on a drawing, I want the whole assembly. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to take and I want this in an isometric view. So you can hit the different ones, but the best thing I like to do is just come down here to this little fella here, change view orientation. You click on it, and I click that corner right there. That right there is a true isometric view. That's what I want. And another thing is I don't want any hidden lines on it, and I want it solid. And if you look at this, your projection, if y'all remember this, we discussed that earlier. This is third angle projection. That's the sign for third angle, and I'll show you a little bit more of that in just a second. Well, we've already covered a little of that in an earlier class about how to put multi-view orthographics on this. I'm going to click right there, and then I can hit escape or right click and OK. There's my part brought in there. That's the first page on my set of drawings. So whenever you hand this set of drawings to someone, that's the first thing they're going to see, what this thing looks like all together. And basically it's not really to any scale. Edit view, you can go back and look, it doesn't matter as long as it looks good. This is 1:1, you can change it, but down here at the bottom you would definitely want to go and annotate, type in your text and put that in there. This is 1:1. Most of the time it's not to scale, but this one's going to be. Alright, now what else we could do on this one is come up here to right click on this, and you can just right click on this at the main top, go down to eye properties, and you can put some different things in here. Summary, the subject, the manager, all that good stuff in here, your project, location, part number, description. I mean, you can add in, and right here it's automatically got my name on here. Estimated cost. I mean, we can say this thing, estimated cost is $20. Engineer, whoever approves the part, revision number, this is revision 1. Description, it was a shaft support assembly. I'm just going to put that just like that. Stock number, if you had a stock number like 5401 or something like that. Part number, it could be part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the location of that, we'll just put 1, or maybe we have a certain system. I can just put like A. It's not going to let me do that. Part number, stock number. I mean, it's just amazing all the stuff that you can do on this. General though, this is the shaft support assembly. That's what's going to be named on here. And if you hit apply, all that will take into effect. And you come here. This is the drawing number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sheet 1 of 1. Still, we need to put in our name of this, the title. It is the shaft, and I like to cap lock this, shaft support assembly. Alright, there it kicked on there. Whenever the title, whenever I hit OK, it automatically put up the shaft support assembly. So it's crazy. It's like revision 1. It puts all that stuff in there for you. It's really a handy thing. Now, I'm going to go ahead. This has got 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to it. I want to go ahead and put myself the sheets in here. To put new sheets, you just come up here to this part, right click, new sheet. So there's 4 parts, so there'll be 4 sheets. So I'm just going to go ahead and new sheet. And you'll see, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll see when I add new sheets, it follows what sheet number 1 is. And you'll notice down here, this is my first sheet. I just have to click on it, and it shows you sheet 1 of 4. Then here's sheet 2, 3, and 4. I need one more sheet. In the next sheet, you're going to have the first sheet. Double click it. It's going to have the assembly on it. The second sheet's going to be an exploded view, and we're getting ready to get into that in our next project. You have sheet 3, 4, and 5, and that's going to be our parts. So we're probably going to have to add one more sheet in. So in retrospect, sheet 3, we'll bring it up, and it's going to be a B-size paper. What you have to do is just come in here like we've done in the past, and I want to grab my first part I'm going to look it up, come back in here and find where I had that saved, which was in chapter or week 11. I want to start out and input my base plate, open, and let's see, this is on 1:1 scale. It looks like it's going to fit really nicely. So there's my top view. Come down here for a front view, create, and then and yes, I need to, I was going to say I might not need a right side view, but I need to locate the center of these holes, so I'm definitely going to put that in there, just like that. Okay, and I also like to come up here in the top upper right corner and put a 3D. Open that up, and again, I like to use the isometric look of it. So I'll click on that corner, hit custom, finish, and it brings it in. I want to scale this one down about a quarter size. That's maybe a little too small. Let's go about half. Just eyeball it, just your judgment. But whenever you put something up here, and this is going to be the scale of these parts that's wrote down here. When I put something else in here and it's not the same scale that's on my paper, I've got to indicate that. So I'm going to hit this little light bulb and it'll automatically put that up. I want to get rid of that. And I'll make sure this, no hidden lines, and this is solid. Okay, it's wanting an identifier, so I'll just put 1 in there. Just like that. And I don't like that 1 on there, so only I have to do is just double click it. And I'm going to get rid of that. Backspace it, hit OK. And there it is. Now you just got to annotate it. You just got to put your dimensions in and make sure that you always go to annotate, make sure that you put your center marks in, all your circles, center marks in, and then of course make sure that you put your center lines in these as well. So everything has it, that way you can dimension it. And don't forget, whenever you're dimensioning something that's round like this, circles, always dimension them like that. Don't come up here and dimension, and don't try to dimension, well, I don't have a center line in there, but don't try to dimension it like this. I want to put my center mark in there. Don't come up here and dimension, don't try to dimension it like that. You all see that? Don't try to put it in there like that. You want to dimension it where you can see the actual circle, if at all possible. Sometimes you have to do what you got to do to keep your drawing clean and easy to read, but it'd be like dimension these little holes right here, like these holes. Don't dimension this, dimension the ones that you can see. Okay, and you might have to make this a little bit smaller to fit all your dimensioning in, but that's just going to be up to you. As long as everything's scaled accurately, you're good to go. But again, go in here, go to sheet 4 now, place views, base view. This time I want to bring in a different shot. I want to bring in the bearing, so hit open. And I want to bring it to, let's do 1:1. That looks pretty good. I want to show you what I'm going to do with it. I want to put it right there, just like that. And I'm not going to do a right side view. What I want to, well, yeah, let's do this. Let's do a section view. I'd do a section view on this one. Continue. Come over here, and you got your section view. But my problem of it is I'd like to be able to see this hole in it. So what I would have to do is I can click on this, right click, and do a rotate. I want to rotate this thing around an absolute angle of 180 degrees. When I do that, see how it brings it around? Just like that. and then of course bring up the view, your little 3D view of it up here. And then this right here is all of the views I need. You got a front view and a right side. I done a section view for the right side. That's plenty enough. And again, get all your annotations in there. Sheet 5, we're going to just double click it. Right click on it, and I'm going to go actually hit base and come in here and grab this part, which would be the collar. Hit open, and it's another one that to be honest with you, I want to come in here and turn this thing around. I would do it just like that and bring it in 1:1. Actually, I could probably bring that in 2:1, make it a little bit larger. Bring it in 2:1, and that's a little too big. Let's go 1:1, it'd be fine. Bring this one in and do, you could do a full section or just a right side view. It wouldn't matter either way. It probably would look better with a full section view. So I'm going to hit again, you can hit section, click on it. When you cut this thing out, if you haven't had my engineering graphics class yet, just like that. This is the designator. You see section BB. They're saying there's a B there and there's a B down at the bottom. This arrow points to the direction that you're seeing these section lines. So you're cutting this just like you're cutting it with a knife, just to be able to see the internal parts without all those hidden lines. It makes things a little easier to understand the internal features and things of that sort. So that's the reason we use it. It looks a little bit more clear and easier as opposed to the other, just a right side view. And that's the reason I use that. So this right here is just pointing whenever this thing turns from our front here to our right side, it just turns to where you're looking at it this way. You're looking at the material that's being cut this way. Anything that's cut has section lines. Okay. And then just to hurry things up, and right click base, and then I'd put the screw in there. And I'm just going to hurry up and just put it in there just to and really and truly we could have probably put this and the collar together on the same drawing. But we got all those in. So now sheet 1 would be your assembly. Sheet 2 would be that's going to be for your exploded view. Sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5, and sheet 6 would be your screw. Okay. And make sure that you get all these annotated. I want to see center marks. I want to see any type of, I want to make sure that all my dimensions are on there. And make sure you dimension all of your dimensions the best way that you can see those. Like I told you earlier, with any type of hole that's in the part, you want to be able to see the roundness of it. You don't want to try to dimension hidden lines unless it's absolutely necessary that you do that. So we're going to continue this in the next, well actually, before I jump, now I want to show you one thing before we do the exploded. Now I want to show you one thing before we do the exploded, now I want to show you one more thing before we go and we do the next project with the exploded view, and we put it on this sheet. I want to show you how to go back in here and put a parts list to this thing. It's really neat. It's really simple. All you have to do is come up here to annotate and go to parts list. Now this is really simple. All you got to do is just select on that view. Just select this whole thing down here where it says select view. Just click this, hit OK, and it gives you a complete part list. And this one I've got a little bit more room. You can put it down over here, or you can put it up. Usually most of them that I've seen are up in the upper right hand corner. It just depends on who you're working for. And all you have to do is You got your quantity, parts number, description. Let's say, for instance, right click, edit the parts list. Let's say you want to add in something that's not on there. We've got item, quantity, part number, description. Maybe you want to put material in. Click on that, hit add. You can move it up or down. Move it up if you want. OK. Apply. OK, and it automatically does it. And sometimes we might have to move our part. You just have to grab it and kind of pull it around there just a little bit. Get it out of all the... You don't want it touching any of your... Ooh, that's close. You don't want it touching anything, so we'll move it back, make it look good and clean. And that's how it. Now, if you wanted to label, like the items 1, 2, 3, 4, if you want to label those, you come over here to what they call balloons, and just hit click on balloon, and you can actually just click on the part, right click, continue, and you can see how number 1, it follows suit with the base plate. Up here, right click, continue, number 2, and here's 3, this part, continue, and then here's your screw on the back side. I'm going to just kind of float it in there like that, and that identifies the parts, and it's really nice. And again, I want to show you something. I've got you see how this materials are generic. If I go back into shaft support, this is my IEM where I assembled it. Let's say this collar here, I double click it, and it lets me open up the part by itself, and you can see all this. If I right click on that collar and go to eye properties, I can change the material, the physical, and I can change that to let's make it stainless steel. Hit apply, OK, and it has all the properties of it. And then it's return, save it, hit yes to all, OK, and then just do shaft support, and you can go up here now, and you see how it automatically on number 4, which is this, it changed that collar to stainless steel, and you can see it's a little bit brighter.